Welcome back to another exciting episode of Stop Motion using the Stopmotion app. It has been fantastic, and in this second workshop we're going to look at the features, the special features, and we're also going to talk a little bit more about Plasticine. So with our Plasticine, we're going to talk about motion and animating movement again. So Sam, my son, will come over here and get the app ready, and we're going to create a creature out of Plasticine. And the first thing we're going to do is, I'd like to show you how to make a slug. That's right, a slug. So Sam, he can do the honors and roll that into a slug shape, or a fat worm type of a shape. The other thing, after we've made our slug shape, or our big sausage type shape, we're going to make two eyes out of some white Plasticine. So just two balls like that. And one's a bit bigger than the other, that's okay. And we'll have them set aside. Plasticine is available at craft shops, and these are really good packs. They're 500 grams, nice big slab, and you can get lots of different colors, which is also a lot of fun. I'm just going to use the tiniest little bit of black so we can use that on our eyes. Now this is a really cool idea for cartoon eyes. I'm just going to roll out two little tiny balls of the black here, and I want to show you how to make some really cool eye movements in a moment, because making characters, you can get so much expression just with the eyes. Let's see how that worm shape's going. Oh yes, that is very cool. Thank you, Sam. All right, now what we're going to do, we've got a nice tail here. I'm going to make this into the head, so I'm just going to squish it a little bit more. Now, he needs the eyes, doesn't he? So let's get those on. What I'm going to get Sam to do is put two little antennas. We're going to put our eyes on. So some little type worm shapes as well, again. And while he's doing that, I'm going to take the black with the little white ball I've got for the eyes and gently press the black pupil onto the eye there. We don't want to press it in too hard. I want to be able to roll this little eye around for the eye movement. So there's one, and I'll just do the other one. Okay, very cool. Now let's get cracking with this cool little slug animation. We have got our, thank you Sam, we've got our antenna shapes. We'll put those on. And sometimes you have to really push and work the Plasticine into itself. Next thing I'm going to do is add those eyes to our slug. There we go, pressing the eyes into the slug like that. All right, how's he look, Sam? Yep, looking okay. Alrighty, we've got our slug shape. Now, the last thing I'm going to give this slug is a mouth. Now, you can either do that with a teaspoon, or I'll reach over here, one of these. This is a clay modeling tool. And all I'm going to do, I'll use my teaspoon because that's probably the thing that you'll all have, okay, is press that in to the slug. And now we have a nice mouth. Okay, there he is. I'll show you these eye movements before we start. The cool thing about Mr. Slug here, we can move his eyes, of course, on the antenna all around the place, which is really super cool. And the other thing we can do, and this works well when you've got you've made a person or another animal, is just gently roll the black across over that white ball, and you can move it any way you like, okay? And the first thing we're going to do is position him on the paper. So we're going to start from one side of the paper, one side of the iPad, right across to here. And here we go. Sam's going to take the first photo. Now this slug is going to slither along, okay? Like when we do a worm motion. So here we go. The first movement we're going to do, we're going to hold the head, lift up the middle section to about there. Remember, we're not moving this part, we're just lifting up, so he's got a hump in his back. So we'll take another photo, click, okay. Hold the head still, pushing up the middle again, keeping the tail touching the ground. Yep. My hand was in the way. Good call, Sam. We've got to make sure we get those hands out the way. All right. And then we do that again. We're pushing that right up. And again, so I've got 4 motions. And now his back is really arched, isn't it? And now what we're going to do is push off from the tail. So I'm going to hold the tail still, like that, and start to stretch him out. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now I'm going to just do one more movement, stretch him right out, like that. Photo. Okay, now we have our movement. He's gone from up to a squirm and then stretching out. All we need to do is keep repeating that, but we might take one more photo of that position, just so he sort of has a little rest, a little break before all that effort of still going. So I'm going to do that again. We'll do it quickly and show you the result. Okay, we'll stop there for a moment. You see we've slid the slider down on the left side. We talked about that in our last workshop, just so we can see the previous frame or the previous photo. Now he's there, we're going to come back up with his back. And we're going to turn him around so he looks at the camera. Here we go, turning him slowly. Remember, he's a slug and he'll have some slow movement. So we've just got to do some little movements as we go. And there he goes. He's even left a green trail on the white paper. And have his eyes looking up a little. And there we go. We have got one slug there. And of course we can do lots of movements with his eyes. We can turn him around, make him go in circles and all that sort of thing. So very cool. Let's have a look at what we've got. Push play. And there we have it. So there you go, there's our plasticine fun. The next thing we're going to do is start with some Lego, what you've all been waiting for, and talk about the features. So we're going to make some really cool space Lego. Now we need to talk about what we're going to do again. Okay, so we've got a green cloth here, and this is just to show you the little bit about the green screen. Alrighty, and we have our Lego spaceship. Now I have got the app on my phone here, and you can see, wow, what's going on here? I've got the picture of Saturn behind there. If I hold my hand in front of it, you can see that it covers over the picture. So it will work on any green cloth. How did I get to that? Let's have a look here through our functions on the paid version. We have, if we go to camera setting, we've got camera. We can choose green screen like I have here. We can go to this function here to show the green screen backgrounds and choose between clouds, underwater, all sorts of different backgrounds there, which is really cool. We've got the moon even, but that can take a little bit of mucking around and practicing with lights to try not to get that green showing underneath there. Now the only thing is with these little backgrounds that we're putting in over the green screen, you have to keep the same camera angle. If we didn't have this green screen, we could make our own little moon area and have different camera angles. Let's try that to finish with. Okay, so here we go. Let's do that once more. We're going to do it quickly and then we'll show you some other camera angles and put our title on. So this plasticine has really helped with our character to stand up. Without the plasticine or blue tack under him, he's too light to keep him in the right position. Okay, now we've come in for a closer camera position and off we go. Take a couple there. And then he's going to come back and watch his screen come up Here we go. We're going to just bring this up very slowly. Okay, now all we're going to do is put our little man in there, and the screen is going to come down the shield and hit him on the head. Here he goes. Now, because we can't see the little guy's feet, I'm just going to use a little bit of plasticine so it looks like he's climbing up into the vehicle. And we'll take a few shots there, and then he'll give a salute. And we'll take a few shots here, and back he'll go. And moving down the screen nice and slowly. And then we're just going to get one shot of him, just one shot, and copy it and paste it. Look of him looking into the camera. Remember to save your movie, call it whatever you like. We're going to go Lego Space. Okay. Now I'm going to open it again and push the plus button. Now the plus button gives us some options here. We've got add images, title and credits. Let's have a look. Because this is a paid version, now we have all of our fantastic options for titles. And we're going to go with Space Movie. And we can change the font. We can change the title. We can change all of these things on here. And I want to put that right at the very start. I'm going to go cut, go right back to the start, and say paste. And there we have it. Let's have a look how that looks with our title. The other thing that's really cool to finish with, you can have a look at all these different functions, but if we go record, we can allow access to the microphone and do our own, very own voices, our voiceovers, which is fantastic. Lego Space Movie 2! Okay, Star Command, here I come. We can add audio. And here's one, this is called Alien. Press titles and credits. Oh, how embarrassing. If we want to fade to black, we can. We go to our cogwheel, and right next to our speed button, there's a little arrow up, and I'm just going to add fade out to black, the N one, and say done. So that should fade out to black. There we go. So here we go. Let's have a look. I'm just putting this up to 24 frames per second, and let's say done, and let's